Hi, everyone. Welcome to Film Vets. I'm your host, Paul Dixon, and with me is my co-host,
Dan.
Dan. Guess what? We got some news. This is exciting. So James Gunn has confirmed we now have our Superman and Lois. And they are people that have been in the top choices and were said to be going in for auditioning for the roles. And a lot of people wanted these people to be those characters. And it turned out to be David Corenswet and for Lois Lane, Rachel Brosnahan. And those are really hard names to say. I think we're gonna get used to them eventually. But
Yep.
yeah,
I've already been practicing Corenswet. I mean, that's
Corenswet.
I don't know why, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to bag on it, but that is a hilarious name to me. It just sounds funny. It's like Corenswet. I just, for whatever reason, it just sticks in my mind that way, and I'm like, oh yeah, Corenswet. I think I'm gonna remember that name pretty easily.
Yeah, at first I was like, that's a very odd name, and it is what it is. But I know this actor from his other roles, and
what roles has he had?
So he very minimum amount of roles. He was in the show Hollywood. I'm gonna say that again because I had something in the back of my throat. Hollywood. I'm still there. I can't say it. Hollywood. Yeah, he was in Hollywood, the Netflix series by Ryan Murphy, which was actually really excellent. And he stood out to me. I was like, this guy's really good. I never thought, oh, he should play Superman because we had Henry Cavill. I mean, why would anyone else play Superman?
Yeah.
But apparently, people had come up to him and said on set, you're going to be the next Superman. And he said in an interview a long time ago, I think 2019, well, it's not that long ago, but in 2019, he said that if he was to play Superman, he wanted to do a more bright and happy, inspiring Superman. So manifesting that a bit.
So like Golden Age Superman? Somebody that's just a little bit more like, ha ha, yeah.
So, sure.
You know what? If I played Superman, I think I would want to be like a gritty, like really depressed Superman. How about you?
So that's
what kind of Superman would you be?
That's Zack Snyder's Superman?
No. That's he still has some life in him. I want Superman like the divorcee Superman. Just like
so the
like
the
Hancock,
Superman from
but white.
So the Superman for Superman Quest for Peace, where he splits off and becomes a drunkard.
Yes, that's it. That's me. That's mine.
Perfect. Wow. Okay, so I got some pictures here.
All right, let's look.
This is David Corenswet next to a picture of Superman, and
I actually see it. I totally see it.
He looks. This is him in Hollywood. He looks like Superman. And a lot of people have been pointing out, well, he looks a lot like Henry Cavill. Why do they just keep Henry Cavill? I disagree to a certain extent. I think they all look like Superman.
Exactly.
I think they're all kind of cut from the same
specific cloth. Exactly. They're picking a very specific type of actor, a very specific chiseled jawline, like every single one of them that they've ever picked. Mm-hmm. It's just like they are being really specific about who Superman's going to be. That's why, oh yeah, it looks like Henry Cavill. Like, well, you mean Henry Cavill looks like Superman?
Exactly. That's it. That's the thing people are pointing out. They're like, Henry Cavill was a great Superman look-wise, and I think his character was never given enough for me to really care about him being Superman. I think the first movie started off strong. Batman v Superman was a trash fire, and then Justice League came out, and I was like, "Jeez, this is awful."
He really just didn't get a fair shake. I thought he did.
He didn't.
Really
it's not his fault.
In the first Superman that he was in, no, not at all. He did the best with what he had, honestly.
Yeah.
So I am excited to kind of hit the reset button and see a new Superman come in, especially with Henry Cavill onto his other project, which, my God, I cannot wait to talk about whenever
Warhammer?
Something comes out for it. Let's not open that Pandora's box.
Look at this picture. I mean, that would be amazing. And James Gunn knows characters. He is. If you don't like his movies, that's
Look
one
what he
thing.
did with
But you
Suicide Squad. Yeah.
exactly, and also on top of that, there is this understanding that the casting needs to work. And he, in every film, every movie he's done superhero wise has nailed the casting. You can't deny that. No matter if you
You
don't
you
like the
know
movies.
you know why he nails the casting?
Why?
Just kind of off the top of your head, do you know why James Gunn nails
Because he's a
casting
fan.
and absolutely sticks? Yes, and I yes, absolutely. He understands the source material, but he knows how to humanize a character. He took a character like Weasel and gave it life, essentially, like something that we could laugh at and a personality. Ugh. You know how hard that is for just the run of the mill person to do?
Yeah.
He knows how to humanize things, and that's what I'm excited, I think, the most
I'm
about
excited
seeing
that
is a
Weasel. I'm
very
excited.
human Superman.
I'm excited. Weasel's coming back. He's actually bringing the character
Weasel
back.
will return.
He is, and it's going to be in the Creature Commandos. He's one of the creatures.
Oh, dude.
He's
Oh,
in the
that's
picture.
gonna be wonderful. And I
Yeah,
love the fact that Weasel is kind of
dude,
the
I laughed
memorable
so
entry
hard.
point of James Gunn into the DC
I laughed so
universe.
hard when he at the beginning of the movie when Weasel drowns immediately after
Yep.
hitting the water. I was like,
Immediately.
this is perfect. Anyway,
Yeah.
um, so we have our Superman. Let's talk about our Lois Lane, Rachel Brosnahan. Now, you said you had seen most of Mrs. Maisel, the marvelous Miss Maisel.
I'm
Miss
in
Maisel.
I'm halfway through season 3 right now.
That's more than
And
me. I'm in season one.
her character has finally hit her stride in
Mm,
stand-up comedy. She's kind of forging ahead, exploring new different avenues and interpersonal
cool.
relationships, and life is very different from her from season 1. And Rachel Brosnahan, did I say that right?
You
Rachel
did.
Brosnahan.
Yeah.
Um, she is fantastic. Like, you know how hard or how easy it must be to try to be nervous if you're nervous, right? Like,
Hmm.
it's just going to come out naturally. But how
Yeah.
hard is it to act nervous if you're confident?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
hard because you can tell what's fabricated and what's not. You can see what's genuine and what's not. And every time she gets on stage in the show, The Marvelous Miss Maisel,
Hmm.
when she's nervous, it always seems genuine. When she's confident, it always seems genuine. And you can tell it's not a mistake. There's not a fluke there, that
Yeah.
she is just nailing this every step of the way.
Yeah.
And it makes me really excited because Lois Lane is a huge character. She is just as important in Superman's story as
Yeah.
Superman is.
Absolutely.
Without
And
her, he misses that human element,
yeah, I
that
think
one thing to finish tying him together.
it's again something that James Gunn understands. And I love the fact that James Gunn is looking at these characters as being straight from the comics. This isn't an interpretation to him, at least from what I can gather, an interpretation from the comics. Oh, this is my version of that. No, no, he's like, these are the versions from the comics that we're going to create, and they're going to be connected through the movies, through TV shows, through video games, through cartoons. They're going to be the same character. So I think it's brilliant. I think it's the right way to go with
It's
this.
wonderful.
Yeah. Now, Rachel Brosnahan apparently beat out a lot of other actresses. Uh, Something that was said was they were worried about her being a bit too old for the character because they were going for a younger version of this character. But she's not even that old. I mean, just comparatively to
No.
the other actresses, she is older. But she apparently blew them away so much with her audition. They were like, we gotta cast her as Lois. That's apparently what happened. I believe it. After seeing Miss Maisel for just one episode, I was like, this woman is talented. And look at this
Yes.
picture. I mean, she looks like Lois Lane.
Oh
I just,
yeah, yeah.
incredible.
Nailed it.
Yeah. So now we got our Superman. Now we got our Lois. Now the next big casting is Lex Luthor. Now, this is what we're going to talk about first. There is a possibility that one of the actors that went in for Superman could be cast as Lex Luthor. And this person is
You know how before you reveal, I
okay.
would absolutely love if it was Henry Cavill. Like, let's just get both sides of this coin.
That
I
would
know
be
it's not,
amazing.
but
That would be
that would be
amazing.
fantastic.
No, it's not Henry Cavill. It's Nicholas Hoult. Now, Nicholas
Oh
Hoult
my,
recently,
what? Wait a minute.
recently he played uh, opposite Nicolas Cage in Renfield, which he starred in as Renfield.
Yes.
He also was in The Menu, which gave off some big Lex Luthor vibes. I love that movie, and he was fantastic. I love this casting, but here's the thing. He has some competition, and I don't know if he's going to beat them because this is the competition. And avert your eyes if you can.
Can I look yet?
Okay, I'm going to show you a picture of these guys. These guys are who he's competing
Plural?
against. Yes, the brothers, Bill and Alexander Skarsgård, are
Oh
both
my
up for the role of
god.
Lex Luthor, and either one of them
Ooh.
would be phenomenal. No shade at Nicholas Hoult, but God, these are so good. Either
Can
one
I,
of these guys
out
would
of the
be
two, which
fantastic.
one would you want? I
My
already know
instinct,
it hands down who I think should be, but who would
my
you pick?
instinct, my instinct is Alexander. After watching
Yes.
Succession, after watching him in Succession, he played this billionaire eccentric billionaire in that, and it was very Lex Luthor like in a lot of scenes. He
So he's
could
got
pull it
lots of
off.
practice already.
Yeah. Now that's not to say though. I feel like Bill Skarsgård, if they chose him, he would be just as good. He would be phenomenal.
Well,
But that's
look at his rendition of Pennywise.
look at Pennywise. My God, he's terrifying. But he also can do very natural and sweet and
Oh
normal.
yeah, yeah.
Like he can come off as being just genuine. You look at what was the movie Barbarian, where he played the guy sleeping at the Airbnb. I don't know if you've seen that movie. I'm not going to spoil what happens, but
No, not yet.
he is so good at just switching into different roles, and I'd be
Mm,
happy with either one of them. So we're just winning with any of these castings,
man.
even if it's
Yeah.
even if it's Nicholas Hoult
There's only
or them.
upside.
Yeah, there's no downside to this. If anything, the way James Gunn is probably looking at this is like, okay, well, we got three choices. We're going to pick one, and we have all these other characters in the DC universe we need to cast. So maybe we're just going to use them in other places, and they get cast as, say, something else. I mean, Bill Skarsgård was up for apparently Swamp Thing at one point. There was a rumor going around for that.
Oh,
So yeah,
that'd be
put him in
sick.
Swamp Thing. Put him in Swamp Thing. So I don't mind any of these casting choices so far. I'm really excited to see who they get for the villains of the movie besides Lex Luthor. So the other thing they're doing is the villains. Now, besides Lex Luthor, we are getting the Authority. The Authority. I don't know if it's the whole team, but we're at least getting certain people from the Authority that they're casting, and the Authority will be rumored to be the villains of the film, but they're not really villains. They're more anti-heroes. They're extreme versions of Superman. They're going out and saying, "Well, why don't we just kill the villains and get it over with? Why we put
Yep.
him in jail?" And Superman, being a younger Superman, and they're probably going to think, "Oh, he's a naive Boy Scout." He's going to show them this is how it's done. We don't kill, and we don't harm civilians. And I think it's based off a story where Superman went up against a very similar sect of people, and that's exciting to me because that's the essence of Superman. That can show, that has the potential to show why Superman is so beloved, why he's so,
Mhm.
you know, a lot of people say he's boring. I disagree. I think he has the
He
values
needs the
that every
right
superhero should
story.
embody. He needs the right story, and I really think James Gunn is going to bring it. I
Well,
really do.
look at Guardians of the Galaxy. Nobody knew who Guardians of the Galaxy were. They had
Yeah,
comics out. They have a full fleshed out story that
yeah,
not everybody, not your average moviegoer would know.
no,
I mean,
No, and the Authority
he
has the
took
potential to be that
unknown
too.
characters and not only molded them into what they were in the comics. They're very true to form, but they're also
Yeah.
very tangible.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he's going to do the
It's
same thing with the Authority.
I think so too. So
And
overall,
Superman.
big thumbs up for Superman. I like the fact also, before we go, David Corenswet, like you were asking, who is he? I don't know who he is. I've never seen anything he's in.
And I love that.
That's the point. That's the point. I
Yep.
don't want to know. I want someone. If you look back at Christopher Reeve, no one knew who Christopher
Mhm.
Reeve was. Henry Cavill, nobody knew Henry Cavill. Brandon Routh,
Yep.
same thing. I love that they got somebody who is, kind of done some things, but they're not hitting the big time yet. And that's really what's great about this. Now, another thing I want to point out is he also mentions he's miles away from casting Batman. I think
Good.
Nicholas Hoult.
Take
I think
his
Nicholas Hoult
time.
Nicholas Hoult would make an amazing Batman, though. He
Yes, I do think so too.
would. Yeah.
I really think
anything's
so.
possible.
Look what he
Anything's
did
possible.
with Beast in X-Men.
Yeah.
First Class.
Yeah. Yeah. And he
can
actually
pull that
was up.
off.
He was up for the role before Robert Pattinson got it, and he would have been great in that too. But I think Robert Pattinson was amazing, and he was right for that time.
Yes.
Maybe he's right for the DCU. We'll see. Anyways, what do you think of the casting for Superman Legacy? Are you excited for James Gunn's new upcoming Superman, or are you kind of not into the DC universe right now? I think you will be in a couple of years, though. Leave your comments below, like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to check out our other segments. Thank you so much, veterans, for watching and for your service, and thank you, Dan, for joining me today.
Absolutely. So I got one parting question for you really quick.
Part away.
And I want to, instead of asking you, gee, who would you want to play in the DCU?
I already got that answer.
I challenge you to, one, tell me who you would want to be. Sure, I am interested since you said that.
You already know.
And two, who would I be? Now, I honestly think you would be a good Green Arrow. Honestly, I do. I think you'd be an excellent Green Arrow. You whenever you grow like the goatee and everything, dude, you are Oliver Queen. You look like it. I think you would nail it.
Thank you.
But who would you want to play?
Well, I've always had an affinity for Booster Gold. I think he's
yes, that is an
so
excellent
funny.
Choice too.
I love Booster Gold so much. He's such a messed up, stupid. He's not stupid, but he's like he's adult. He's a bit of adult, and he's just, there's a lot of potential there. And James Gunn making a movie of that, I would love if I even got an audition to do that.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
I would hope so. We got to keep an eye on that. So who would I be? Who would you cast me as?
It's going to be a villain. I'm sorry.
Why do you say that?
It's gonna be a villain. God. You'd make. Oh man, Clayface, dude, you would be an amazing Clayface. Seriously.
Thank you. Seriously, dude, yes.
You would be amazing as Clayface. I could see that. It looks like we're going to go make a short film now. Booster Gold and Clayface. Now, let us know also in the comments, who do you think we should play, and who would you play if you were in the DC universe? All right. Thanks so much for watching, guys and gals.
All right. Thanks. Bye.